Welcome to an Elite Audio special feature, and today we have the brand new Valve Integrated Amplifier from Luxman. It's the N150. Now straight away you will notice it has got one of the styling features that we have come to associate with all Luxman amplifiers now, and that is the twin VU meters. Now some people don't like them. Personally I do. I think it adds a certain panache to the styling of the amplifier. But one thing you can be absolutely certain of with all Luxman amplifiers is the build quality of this amplifier is absolutely breathtakingly good. And all you have to do is literally, as I'm doing, the tactile nature of touching the chassis, the build, the transformer housing, the volume control, even the tone controls, which again is another Luxman feature that we've become very accustomed to. It all has got that beautiful feel that you know this is constructed with the utmost care and attention to detail, and delivering something which kind of almost defies its price point. Now I'll come back to that in a second. It's a 10 watt per channel amplifier, which doesn't sound like an awful lot, but it is capable of driving speakers, I would say, comfortably above 88 dB. So if your speakers are below that, I would suggest you maybe get in touch and we can have a discussion as to its suitability. It uses ECC 83s in the pre-stage and EL 84s in the output stage, and the EL 84 is obviously a very well known and well used valve for power stage in valve amplifiers. A couple of other interesting features: it's got a moving magnet, moving coil phono stage. It has enough gain, Luxman say, to go down to probably 0.3 millivolts. Again, if your cartridge output is lower than 0.3, then again perhaps it'd be worth getting in touch with us to establish its suitability. It also has a headphone output, so you can use this completely silently, so you're not annoying anybody else in the household, and as soon as you put your headphones in there, then that will indeed disconnect the outputs from the speaker terminals on the rear. It has 3 inputs, line inputs in total. That excludes the phono stage, which is separate to that. As we mentioned before, it has got the very customary tone controls that Luxman seem to have in all their amplifiers. When these are in the middle position, they're actually effectively in bypass mode, so it has no impact onto the overall tonality of the amplifier. The retail price is just under £3,000. Now, that's not inexpensive, but to get this kind of quality of amplifier, I think that is very good value for money, and I think Luxman have been quite clever in the positioning of this amplifier. There's actually a very good stereophile review on this amp that I would point you towards. It goes into a lot of detail, it covers the tonal characteristics, but you could say succinctly, and just summarising from the review itself, the treble or the high frequencies are very clean and clear with great separation, a very full and filled out mid-range, and the bass is surprisingly good for 10 watts per channel. I think, if you have got the right speakers, I think you'll find there is no lacking in any aspect of this amplifier at all, and pardon me, it would make a great addition. So one of the things I want to really kind of emphasise on at this moment, a lot of us are stuck at home. It's a great opportunity to listen to some of the music in your library that you've not listened to for quite a while. But it's also another great time, if you have been thinking about upgrading your system, is to try something at home. So we are, as we have always done, we offer a very extensive and easy to access home trial program. And that means that we get the components straight to you. You can try them at home in an unhurried and unpressurized basis. And that way you can take your time and make sure it's definitely the right component for you. And I've got to say as well, coming back to the Luxman, I love the styling of this. I think they've really nailed the look of it completely in every aspect. even the proportions of the transformers. This valve cage actually removes, it's held in place, you probably can't see it in camera. I'm going to do a walk round of the amp in a second, but there's Allen bolts that hold the cage in place. There's two altogether. You loosen them off, the cage lifts off, and then the valves are exposed. I personally prefer the look of the amp with the cage off, but again, if you've got young children in the house and they have got inquisitive hands, let's be honest, you just want to make sure they're fully protected. So again, Luxman have thought that part too. It also comes with a remote control, and again, if you look at the stereophile review, it shows you a photograph of the remote, so again you can see what that's like. So let me just kind of take you around the amplifier and talk about some of the key features. So we come in just for a closer look here. You can see these VU meters that I mentioned at the start of the video, and they are very much something that are, I would say, a trademark of Luxman amplifiers. It's very hard to tell in a video the build quality of something, but trust me when I tell you this amplifier is just beautifully made. It really is absolutely astonishingly well put together. I'm just going to walk around the back here so you can see the inputs that I mentioned also in the video. And so there we go, there's the 3 line inputs you'll see there together, and then on the far right hand side you can see the 4-stage input as well. And then obviously you've got the speaker terminals there too. It's just beautiful. I mean, there's something about this amplifier, it just is absolutely gorgeous. And there's no doubts at all that if you were to consider adding this to your hi-fi system, there is a pride of ownership when you have something that is as well made. I'm just going to see if I can get the so there's your line input selector, and then to the right of there you can see the tone controls that I also mentioned in the video, and when these are in the center position they are actually effectively bypassed. There's also balance control there too, so again, some people, depending on where you're normally sitting, that can be a very useful feature, because depending on the layout of your listening room, and for a lot of people listening rooms and living rooms tend to be the same room, it means that you can change the balance to get the sweet spot exactly right for you and your system. So there you go, that's the Luxman SQ N150. It's, I don't know, the styling, I love every aspect of it. I like the Luxman logo, and I think the kind of very typically that kind of retro look of the old logo that Luxman had. Handmade in Japan. Luxman, as a very sort of piece of interesting trivia, are the world's longest established electronics manufacturer. They predate the 1930s, and that's, longevity, that's quite something to be proud of. As usual with Luxman, and particularly on this amplifier, we're going to offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee. We'll also be more than happy to take your existing amplifier as a part exchange. So, please pick up the phone, let's have a chat about its suitability. It sounds great. I mean, we've tested this in the showroom, and I've got to say we tried it with a pair of Audiophysic loudspeakers, and it did sound remarkably good. It was a pair of Audiophysic Medex. We also tried it with Avantes, Classic 35s and Classic 25s. We also tried it with a pair of Classic 12s, and it just, it seems to me there's actually a good synergy between Luxman and Audiophysic in any case, and their speakers are relatively efficient, so above 88 dB as we sort of spoke about at the start of the video. So please get in touch, give us a call. Grant will put up our usual contact phone numbers. We, as I said, we'll also, on a like-for-like basis, we are never beaten on a part exchange. So if you do have something to part exchange, ask us for a quote. We're very, very, very competitive on our part exchange prices, and it's something that we deal with literally on a daily basis. But the most important thing, this is an inherently musical amplifier, and it's one of those amplifiers that you, one, will never tire of looking at because the aesthetics are gorgeous. But as I always say to people when they phone up and we chat on the phone or even come into our showroom, is that the musicality aspect is always the most important feature of any audio device, whether it's a source component or in this case an amplifier. and this is an inherently musical amp. It gets a highly recommended Stereophile review, and Stereophile are one of those trusted resources of reviews that you just know, whilst it's only one person's opinion, you know that that opinion is based on a lot of listening experience, and the guys that write for Stereophile really do know their stuff. So if they're saying this is highly recommended, then believe me it is, and certainly based on our own listening at Elite Audio, and everybody's had a listen to this, the feedback of the team is that they love it. Looks wise, sound wise, it's hard to beat. So there you go, 30-day money back guarantee, unbeatable part exchange price, very easy to access home trial period so you can get it in your system at home. Thanks very much for watching this special feature today, and we look forward to talking to you again very soon.